What's up, guys? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. I'm Jess. I have Mom here today again. So this video is going to be about the Keto Rewind Tool Box, and this is a monthly challenge for the month of February. January was the Clean 30, taught you how to eat or how I ate to lose 130 pounds. This video is going to be how we're going to fix our health, how we're going to give ourselves our own support or lifeline, and we're going to use this toolbox. So we're going to divide this video into, this is the overview of what's in the box, and then the upcoming weeks of the February challenge, we will go, do like 3 at a time each week.
Give you a homework assignment.
And then we'll show you what's in our box too. So that's coming up, but today this is just the overview of what you're going to want to put in your toolbox.
For the first
week. So I guess Mom can take over here, but I am using just a plain old, I think a pencil box that I get at the grocery store. Hers is a little bit more fancy. I don't know where you got that, but you do you, and you pick a box or a folder, a cubby, something that has, you can keep.
You want to be able to keep it all together, okay? You want to be able to keep everything together, and you're going to need,
and then you also need index cards and these things we're going to talk about next. Okay. So you start off.
Would you want to start?
Oh, actually, I'll start off. So
there's going to be 3 things that you're going to be putting into your toolbox this first week.
This first week, yes.
Okay. So basically, last week your homework was get your box, get your craft supplies, get your index cards. This is technically the second, the first week of the actual challenge. You're going to be looking and putting together 3 different tools in your toolbox.
So we're going to kick it off with, in my toolbox, before photos are going to be one of the most, it's a driving force behind it. Because if you rely on a scale is just a unit of measurement. It doesn't show anything other than how much something weighs.
How much space you're taking up on the planet.
If you really want to see change, you want to look at an old photo so you can see progress. Okay, so let's find out if my belly rubs on the fridge door when I stand in front of the island and open up the fridge. Here's the before video, and then I'll put the current video or the update now. Nope, doesn't rub anymore. And it's such a wonderful feeling. There's probably a solid 3 inches between where my belly is and where the fridge door begins. So no longer rubbing my belly every time I want to open my own refrigerator. And now for me, when I take my before photos, I use just the regular old sports bra and leggings. This way, when I weigh in every week, in my journey, I weighed in every week. It goes to show the progress in your body. So regardless of what the scale says, you can sometimes see huge physical change and no weight change on the scale. So the before fit pictures are crucial. Besides that, they're also, if you happen to have been smaller back in the day, a before photo could be an inspirational picture, maybe something you want to get back to. Or it also, if it's a bad photo like mine, it'll show you how far you've come. So I would highly recommend grabbing some before photos in like your sports bra and leggings, and then also some in clothes, and pictures that you're just like, ugh, or, oh man, look what I used to look like, So before photos in general, find something, and I have a combination of both. In my box, I have lots of before photos to help show me how far I've come. I don't really have too many inspirational ones. Mine are more of a negative version, but that's okay because that's what works for me. If you have some days where you were thinner, just maybe pre-pregnancy or a high school photo, whatever, pop that in there if that motivates you. But for me, I'd rather see the negative turn into a positive by showing how far I've come. And that's what drives me. So I'll let you do the next section.
All right, so the first homework assignment is a picture that resonates with you, and again using those guidelines, but you're going to need a picture. And you know what, it's not going to work if you just keep it on your phone. You need an actual physical picture. Go to Wally or CVS, print it.
It doesn't have to be fancy,
whatever. It's just going to be information in, so you want to be able to hold it, touch it, see it, and feel it, right? All right, so
tangible.
Tangible. So the second thing is, and this is probably my favorite tool, I think, in the toolbox. This is the one thing that's helped me the most. Again, it's because this is what calls to me, is positive affirmations. Now, what that means is I would like you, we were guided back in my support group years ago, we were guided to use index cards. And we were advised to select 3 positive affirmations that you could work with, or somehow you connect to. They can be affirmations that you make up yourself. They can be, like, you can Google, there's like gazillions of positive one-liners out there.
Especially on Facebook, of the amount of memes or inspirational quotes.
Yeah. Same thing with Pinterest and stuff like that. Now, back when you think about when I did this in 2008, holy moly, everything was, you went to the library back then still. We didn't even have all that access. So this is going to be a lot easier of a task for you than it was for us back then. But you need to come up with a minimum of 3 positive affirmations.
I'm going to grab mine real quick for you while she's talking.
Right. Now, the one, I guess the one that, there's a little story about this one. And if you can see, it's just, I've made it, it's a little itty bitty card. Can you tell if that's fuzzy?
I can just
And
take a picture.
it's written on it, you can change. This is a copy of the one that I had. I had one that was kind of like on a little business card thing, and I kept this in my back pocket. And I kept it in my back pocket for about 2 years, and she can testify to that, how many times she saw it.
I personally at that time, I wasn't really receptive because I didn't have a weight problem, so I couldn't really relate. I didn't get it, but I did notice, like, she kept having these papers around.
Pull it out,
like, what the heck do you do? Like, what is that?
Yeah. But this one was so attached, or I was so attached to this one. This is how I got through my day, throughout the day.
But saying how important that is, I was not receptive of this at the time, but yet I still remember her doing that, and I had no real. It didn't bother me at all. I didn't even understand, but yet I still remember it because I saw her reflecting back to it all the time.
And this was physically on my person. I always had it in a pocket or a tucked. It was always with me, to the point that after about 2 years, there was nothing left of it. It was like dust. I mean, I used this, and I just was always, affirming to myself, you can change.
And I'll give you mine,
We'll do this one. So you can change. So do something that you can, if you're like me and maybe being able to see this 50 to 100 times a day, to inspire you, to make you continue, to get you through something that's really tough. It doesn't have to be food. It could be an ugly comment, whatever it is. This told me throughout my day that I was possible of changing my life.
If you see it enough, you eventually believe it.
Exactly. So, like, what's one of yours?
So for me, one of mine is, imagine yourself six months from now if you don't give up. So imagine yourself 6 months from now if you don't give up. You've seen my day 1 versus 6 months into it, the change that my life I went through. It wasn't just weight, but emotionally. You can see that. And if you just don't give up, you will be there. Just imagine where you'll be. And not just physically, but mentally in 6 months if you don't give up. My second one is, I have a t-shirt on my channel for this. Consistency over perfection. It doesn't matter if you're perfect. I have fallen on my face so many times, but what mattered was I got up every time and I got back on it. So being consistent means I didn't give up. I just kept going, and I had more days that I was on it than I was off it. And that's what matters. And my final one is, do you want to do one?
I'll do this. Of course, me being the glitter girl that I am, I live in sparkle.
Yeah, mine is a scribble with a kid's marker.
This is where you bring out your handy dandy crafty things. And if you're a guy, you know what, write it up, trim it with duct tape, do whatever floats your boat. But mine, I like the glitter. I love purple, and I love pink, and I love orange. So those are the things that come out with me. And I glittered up my card, and my affirmation on it is, don't adapt to the energy in the room. Influence. the energy in the room.
I like
And another one that I have that I kept, again, being the sparkle, being the I like the glitter. Don't let anyone dull your sparkle.
It's a good one. It's true, though. And then speaking along those lines, the fact that someone else loves you doesn't rescue you from the project of loving yourself. So you could have all the support in the world, but that doesn't make up for the love that you need to have for yourself. And if you don't love yourself, no one else will. I don't care what you say.
And if you need to see this 50 times a day, read it 50 times a day.
You matter.
If you're stumbling, I'll just give you one little hint. This was recommended to us. I'm wordy, so it doesn't...
Long-winded.
But so this was not an issue with me, but I do remember the counselor saying, if you're having trouble, that's how deep in the hole you are, number one. And number two, if you can't see the forest for the trees, ask someone else that you love and trust. So you could like go to someone that, like, well, we did that this weekend, remember? You said, if you could write an affirmation about me, what would it be? A one-liner.
Oh, yeah. I thought for I had my husband, my mom, and my two daughters both make me a card so that it would, this one more along came the lines of the smile.
Mine's on the bottom.
But
no, this is so good.
There's yours.
Yeah, and there's one of the girls.
So this way I knew I could do it.
So this gets you, like if you're stuck, let that first card be from someone you know, love, and trust, just a one-liner. And then you'll kind of go, oh yeah, okay, I see what I need to do. And then you make the rest of them, but you can get help for one.
And this one's cute. This is my oldest daughter's card. She put, you can do it. She drew a picture of me doing push-ups and like chanting keto all in the background. So I mean, it's precious. And on the other side, she wrote love flu. So I mean, that is precious. And she drew a muscle, like I'm strong, I can do it. And I can't get it to focus. I'm gonna screenshot it. I'll just screenshot these. So she drew a muscle of my, like flexing, and and then of course she even drew flowers on there because I feel like that was symbolic. That's a new beginning.
Yeah,
fresh.
You're not
growing.
Usually a flower person, and there's always flowers in my world.
And then my 5-year-old was not quite so thoughtful, but she put mom workout, love Marina. I mean, pretty simple to the point, and she was ready to go play,
Yeah.
And then my husband put, keep your eyes ahead and watch for what's in front of you, love Kyle. Because he's also somebody who has lost a significant amount of weight. So I always do look up for what he says. And of course, moms, and all the glory and all fancy.
Purple and green.
I believe in the woman I am becoming. You have to believe in yourself.
This is a good one for your bathroom mirror. Sometimes you can do that. Like for instance, I made another copy. This one I made on my own on my favorite quote, you can change. And like this typically would go in outside of my refrigerator. It would go maybe in my bathroom in the morning because it's the first place you go and the last place you go at the end of the day. So I could tack this anywhere and it just is my
remind you.
You can change. I want to go to bed at the end of the day knowing I can change, because then I'm going to wake up with that in my head, see it again immediately in the morning, you can change.
And that's all goes along the lines with you want to invest in positive thoughts. If you're investing in negative thoughts, that's just something that's just so normal, and it just keeps you in a different mindset that you really need to be. If you invest in good positive thoughts, eventually those thoughts won't feel weird or sound weird to you, and you will actually start to believe them. And that's when things start to change.
Like in the very first video when we were talking about this, we talked about a bank book, and we banked the negative. Well, now it's time for you to stop filling up the positive pages, okay? Because in theory, our goal is more positive. The negative keeps us safe. The negative keeps us in the present because it reminds you. But we don't want that book filled with more negatives than positives. I want more chapters that are positive. And these would be the steering course. But this is the meat of the book. right?
That's what's gonna make your toolbox special.
So work on your affirmations. Find them. You can go to you can look in books. There's a zillion resources out
Comment yours
there.
below if you have a really good one.
I had a cousin that went through when she was wicked crafty, and she made me. I had another one that I kept, and I loved it. And she actually did a real handwriting, the calligraphy, and she put it in an oval, and she put all these little white flowers and pearls, because that's like totally me, and she put it as a magnet, and she said, this is for your refrigerator. So every single time I went into that fridge, that magnet was in my face. You have to constantly
See it.
deposit the positive.
Deposit the positive. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right,
So there's one more thing for your homework this week. Now, first is we have the number 3.
Oh, yes. And the last thing, and one of the most important things, is you got to find out your why. You need to sit down, tune all the other noise out, and think about why.
Why are you here?
Why are you here?
Why are you doing this?
Why are you doing
Why are you
this?
putting yourself through this? Why do you want to change your
Why?
life?
Yeah. And if you might have some lab work that you flunked because you are very overweight and very unhealthy.
Make a copy of that lab work and put it in your toolbox. And when you want to know why you're doing it, open it up and go,
oh yeah,
Lord, did you see the glucose?
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I don't want to be on insulin, you know, something like that. Or maybe you have a photo of your child. Maybe you're doing it so you can see that child grow, because the path that you're on is not going to lead you to a path of a guarantee that you'll be around. You know, like I figured, you know, life's a crapshoot. Anything can take you out. You never know when your number is up. But I'm not going to give myself I'm not going to give my body a reason to shut down.
You're not a quitter.
I'm not a quitter. So
I didn't raise quitter. I didn't raise any sissy girls.
I may get hit by a bus randomly or a plane crash, but it's not going to be because I gave up on my health or I didn't care about my health.
Your why is your trigger to a new lifestyle. Our whole body and our whole life is a set of triggers.
Oops.
You know those toggle things, you know, they go this way and on or off. We come into the world with everything off. The influences that we learn, even if it's hatred, if it's whatever, love, those buttons, those switches get turned on. Your why is the toggle switch that's turned on. Once a switch is on, it's never turned off. In other words, once you have like Parkinson's or serious disease, once it's toggled on, it will never be toggled off. So you want a lot of ons in the right directions for the right reasons.
Because reckless and self-destructive behavior guarantees those things are going to happen to you, pretty much.
Right, because your why is your trigger on to a new life.
Yep. So, and don't brush this off. You really need to take it seriously and find out why. Why are you doing this? What is this all for? And take that seriously, think about it, and write it down. You have to write it down, you know, and you can't just wish. You've got to take an action and write it down, because that's one step closer to getting that goal. So
that's your homework this week. But let me just also say, these are the tools that we've used, you know, like we think the cards work really good. We think that the what we get from our family writing, we're actually just using the cards and the glitter and all that stuff. But you don't have to do cards.
You can do anything you want.
You do whatever you want.
Print it out on a
The
printer.
goal is you want a positive affirmation for you. Number 2, you want a picture for you. And number 3, you want to know why you're doing this. So you want to have your why. So those are your 3 tools that you have to come up with this week.
And put into your toolbox.
Yes.
And we will see you next week.
Yes,
And that's
good luck.
That's a lot of homework.
It is.
So
You'd
that's
be
a
surprised
lot.
how hard it is sometimes to do this stuff. But and if the harder it is, that's your biggest stumbling block. If it's easy, you already got that.
Well, you got the wrong one. You know, this
should be
thought-provoking for you.
Even if you're going through magazines, I need a picture, I need something. Do whatever you got to do. Think about how you're going to find these 3 answers.
If you don't take this seriously,
this
your
is
weight loss journey is going to be a lot harder than you're going to expect.
Because remember, you can change.
So on that note, we'll see you for week 2 for part I guess it would be part three. Because this is the first one. So anyways, part 3 will come up and we'll hit the next section of your toolbox. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have your why in your
positive
affirmation or something that sticks out, comment below, and that maybe that'll
a good
help,
idea.
That'll help somebody else.
That might trigger in a nice way someone else. No positive affirmations can be negative, because you can be positive or you can be negative. Remember, no negatives. We want way more positives.
All right, we'll see you at the next one. I'm Jess.
I'm Mom.
You're watching Keto Rewind. Bye-bye.
Bye.